I'm LP Master 6. Enjoy this beautiful song in the background. I am going to linger here for a second. This song cracks me up. Last time on F-Zero X, we beat one Grand Prix Cup in Novice difficulty. So we're not very good at the game, but that's okay. Today we're moving on to the middle difficulty, the Queen Cup, Sector Alpha. It is not Sector A, it is Sector Alpha. I'm going to read a new bio for us today. We're going to try out Dr. Stewart and the Golden Fox. Age 41, pilot number 3. He's been living in the fast lane as a doctor. Dr. Stewart became interested in the F-Zero X GP after the death of his father. The Golden Fox belonged to his father. Now, we sort of already knew that from the first game, but it says specifically, and I find this interesting, so I am bringing it up. It says specifically he became interested in the F-Zero X GP after the death of his father, but he was in the original F-Zero Grand Prix. Does this mean that the first game isn't canon? I don't really think it matters. Because they're not, the 4 characters in that game are not intended to be the, oldest F-Zero racers. It's been around for a while. The manual also says that F-Zero comes from the F1 racing of the 20th and 21st centuries, which I found interesting because technically it wasn't the 21st century yet. What do I mean technically? It wasn't. It was 1998. I mean, they knew it was going to still be around, but did Nintendo predict the future? That F1 racing would still exist 2 years after that? Yes, they did. They were right. My father loves the Indianapolis 500. We went one year. He's been twice. He took my mom both times. Which, my mom doesn't care about stuff like that, but it's very nice of her to be supportive. She's finally done going to the gun range, though, because she doesn't care about that at all. Alright, I didn't pay attention to our stats. I know our body is not very good, so I need to be careful. But our boost, I think, was an A. I've only ever played as 2 characters in this game, aside from multiplayer with Galen, where I would lose every time. We've played it several times. It's fun, but, he wouldn't, do any teaching or anything. Not much helpfulness came from him in practicing for this game, but just over the years on the 64 and the Switch, we've played quite a bit of it in multiplayer. But, the manual also says that its roots are in the F-Max Grand Prix of the 24th century. I can't remember what century this is supposed to be in, so oops, I didn't write that down. Sorry, guys. I guess I thought I'd remember, or it didn't say it at all. I don't know. Or grip is a D. That's not good. I can't do well with no traction. Oh, well. I would like to point out the roots in F1 racing are more of a reference than you think to F1 Race. Not F1 Race, but the Famicom Grand Prix titles, which everybody... What did they complain about? I don't remember. F-Zero was made in response because the guy got his feelings hurt. I think about the designs of the vehicles in that game or something. And he was like, oh yeah, you think this game's boring? Okay, how about this? Futuristic F-Zero. So, but the Famicom Grand Prix games were also precursors to Mario Kart. So we've really branched off here because by the time of the original F-Zero, Mario Kart didn't exist. So I can really talk about this now. How they're birthed from the same cloth, which all leads back to the inspiration original game that Nintendo commissioned from HAL, which was F1 Race for the Famicom, released only in Japan. But that didn't have Mario in it. However, the Game Boy port released after the Famicom Grand Prix games did have Mario in it. So there's really a lot to digest when you're talking about the history of all of these Nintendo racing games we've covered on the channel. And that's why I've covered them all. So feels good. Even though I have beaten, I 100%ed one of them. One. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay. Come on, if we can't get... oh no, this is the second race. Either way, I would love to always get first in the first 3 races. That way we've got 300 points locked down, and that's pretty good. Whew. But there's more mention of the F-Zero execution project in this manual. The rich ex-space merchants who got bored and wanted to see the violent sport come to fruition, so they made it, and they are essentially the commission behind it. And I love that they're called the F-Zero Execution Project. It makes them seem corrupt and dirty, which they kind of are, but I just thought they were worth pointing out. Last thing worth pointing out is that the machines are able to float due to the G diffuser. I'm not sure if that reference was in the original game. Somebody please comment and tell me. Because that might come directly from Star Fox. In Star Fox 64, the R-Wings work directly on... I can't believe we missed that boost panel. Or zipper, whatever. They're called zippers in Mario Kart 64. Dash panel, I don't know. There's a million different names for these in a million different games. Damn it, I forgot what I was talking about. Why do I do this constantly? Why do you guys watch my videos at all? Come on. Alright. Oh, yes, the connection to Star Fox. This is set in the future, in space. They go to different planets all the time. There are implications throughout both series that they take place in the same universe. They at least reference each other a lot. However, I find it weird. There's no Metroid references in either series. Like, if at all, they are very rare. I can't think of a single one. Of course, I haven't played every Star Fox game. Oh my god. Oh, come on! Oh well. I didn't mention that your amount of spare machines, aka extra lives, goes down per difficulty. Like in standard, you have 4 extra lives, and in 3, you have 3. Sorry, wait. In expert, you have 3. Making it a good bit harder. Okay, I'm gonna lean back like Fat Joe, featuring Eminem and some other rappers from 2005 or 6 or 7, who cares? One of the shittiest eras in music ever. But we're not gonna get into that. Another neat fact from my notes. The machines can exceed the speed of sound, which I find interesting. Alright, let's get into some actual gameplay stuff you might not have known about here. If you press L, this is the lead time. So if you are in first place, it's the amount of seconds, I don't know how they calculate this exactly, that the second place machine is behind you. But this is how close we are, time-wise, to first place. You can turn that off with L, but I guess why would we? If you press R, well, I forgot what that does. I just read it, but I don't remember. Wait. Oh, never mind. That's something else. That's not during a race. Alright, we'll show that off later. Oh man, I'm running out of F-Zero related stuff to talk about for the moment. I don't know. But my history with the series, again, I've only played the first 3 games, and a lot of people on the internet that have asked advice for this on Reddit and I think a couple other message boards. I mean, if you go from back in the day, you see old posts about this game, you know, people talking about how they can't do it and giving genuine advice. Nowadays, people will primarily give advice for the wrong game. Pretty much nobody plays this game, I guess, until it got re-released on the Switch or something. Because F-Zero GX for the GameCube is a huge classic. Everybody loves that game, and that's even harder than this game. I don't own it. I've never played it. It's the top, like, old Nintendo game that I want and need. Because I've got most games in the main series of the main Nintendo series. I just need F-Zero GX, and that's pretty much it. Because I own a ton of games I haven't played. Of course, that's not counting Game Boy games. Those are too easy to get. They're not as fun as GameCube games to get. Alright. Oh, but my point was, I cut to look at my notes. If you are looking up advice, be careful that it's actually applicable to this game and not F-Zero GX exclusively, because I ran into that problem a lot. Now, here's something we can do. On this screen, you can press R to change color, which is pretty cool. You have 4 to choose from. Very nice. You see the pilot number on the side of every machine. And you can also do this. You can change the rotation with the C buttons. So you can rotate it vertically to see the underside, which you don't get to see too much. That is not that graphically impressive, but it's just shiny enough that I think it's cool. I really think the lighting effects are cool. Not just for the time. I think it's nice. Mostly for the time, though. And if you press all 4 C buttons at once, which I'm not sure we can do on a Switch controller, I'm sad to say. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be possible. That will stop the rotation completely. Okay. Well, I've said a good bit of what I have to say about that screen. That's all for that. I can talk about myself, finally, I guess. It's not like I'm looking forward to it every time. In fact, that's what I used to care about the most. But now it's like, I like talking about the game. That's what people are here for. I love talking about myself. It's not that I think I'm fascinating or anything. I just like the idea of vlogs. Those are... Oh my god, what are they called? Jump? They're not called jump panels, right? Oh well, I'm not going to put the official name on the screen because who cares? And plus, I'm sure it changes from game to game. Oh, oh my god. Okay, I'm never playing as the Golden Fox again. Just because its durability is terrible. We gotta play more carefully. Here we go. Ooh. I would avoid those in most tracks. If I were you, if you're not as good as, you know, the professionals, if you're about as good as I am, avoid those like the plague. It is so easy to fall off the track. It's insane. Like the slightest thing. And I was doing most of my practicing with this game in handheld mode on the Switch. Not on the N64 because, oh, I do need to mention this. If you are playing on the Switch, you are at a disadvantage. The analog stick is just objectively not as good in this game. I don't know if it's all the N64 games in general, but this is the only game where I've seen an actual difference gameplay-wise. The dead zones just aren't right. That's what everybody says. It just doesn't feel as intuitive as the original stick, essentially. It's not emulated perfectly. The game is still very playable, but you will have a slightly harder time. But I was playing with drift on both sides of my Joy-Con, so once I finally moved to docked mode and played on a Pro Controller, oh my god, I became so good at this game, you have no idea. Ooh. Like, it felt so good. I was getting so frustrated. And I had to recently, last week? Well, yeah, it's Monday now, so yeah, it was definitely last week. Today is, September 23rd, so I am recording this a good bit ahead. I had a lot of Banjo-Kazooie and Wrecking Crew backlog going on, so I hope you guys are enjoying those. It is finally fall now, but it's so hot. My wife and I were going to go to a pumpkin patch today. We're going to 2 this year, which normally we only go to 1, but I like when she gets excited to try new stuff for the holidays. And that'll really get me in the fall spirit as soon as it fucking cools off. It has been hot since March, and I've complained about it in most of my videos, I feel like. At least once per series, right? And it is just so obnoxious. I hate the heat. Like, because of my job now, sitting in a car makes the heat unbearable because you don't ever get the breeze. So I'm not driving with my windows down. That just costs too much money and gas. Because, for those of you who don't know, it was discovered in 2011, for sure, that driving with your windows down uses more gas than the AC because of, I don't know, something to do with aerodynamics and physics and all of that stuff I don't know about. But I'm sorry, I just went on a million tangents. We were also going to see, finally, I've talked about this a bunch, we've rescheduled it like 6 or 7 times now, going to see my wife's great uncle in the nursing home. But we're moving that till later, because I got 4 days off in a row because I've been making so much money. I can afford to take 4 days off because my body is about at a D grade, like Dr. Stewart's machine right now. It's not doing so hot. My back is killing me. And plus, Wednesdays and Thursdays in late September are not very good for money. So, I'm excited. I deserve a little mini vacation, even though I'm going to be busy a lot of this week. We got my friend Grant's birthday. We're playing pickleball and chess at the same time to celebrate his birthday Wednesday. Thursday. No, that's also Wednesday. We're getting our house bug bombed, finally, because we've been through so many exterminators that just don't do the job, and we have been fighting roaches on and off for years, and it's finally going to get done. Like, oh, it got to such a bad point. Ugh. But, I mean, I avoided calling an exterminator, which made it worse because of my vegan principles. And I know everybody calls me crazy for that. I don't know a single person except, I guess, my wife who understands what I'm talking about, but she can't live with them anymore. And if it were just me living alone, I would just never have anybody over, and I'd let the roaches take over the place. And that sounds insane, right? Like, to a normal person, that sounds insane. No, I mean, I just don't think it's right. You can't convince me that a roach life is any less valuable than mine. Or, yeah, you can't. Or just anybody's in general. Oh, shit. Oh, we gotta be careful. I love this, though. It really makes you strategize, which Mario Kart makes you strategize with the items. This game makes you strategize with the boosting and your energy and all of that. Like, it's such a good trade-off. Whoever came up with that idea, instead of just you get a boost per lap, no. Whoever came up with this was a fucking genius. And I'm glad that sticks as the standard. Glad it's not the case for Mario Kart, because that would make things too complex. I'm glad that stays casual. I know what I'm doing in every Mario Kart game. The strategy never really changes. Here, though, every track is different. Everything is different. So much went into this game, it's insane. I can't believe we're already done there. Did I get first in every race? Okay, well, we're getting better. I haven't practiced in a couple days. I guess that's why I started out so horribly and died in the Jack Cup. Wait a minute. Jack Cup. Wasn't it the Night Cup in the SNES game? Were there 4 cups? There were only 3 cups, right? I don't know. It's been a while. I can't remember. Well, this might be the end of the video, so I won't start talking about development or anything yet, I guess. But, today is just a nice, easy stay-at-home day. My wife had a pap smear, but she probably doesn't want me to talk about her cervix in my videos, so I will refrain from doing so. I hope you guys are having a great time enjoying the high-speed, octane, speed metal action. Which, again, I'm not really a metal fan. I like metal, especially like alternative metal. I love Alice in Chains, which is pretty much metal instrumentals. And it's not that I dislike metal, I just think the lyrics don't really speak to me, and a lot of the vocals, especially for death metal, you know, all the really hardcore types of metal, they're just not my thing. And Black Sabbath type stuff, I like it, but it's too cock rock for me to be all that into. So stuff like Alice in Chains, smooth, grungier vocals, like they're not overly masculine, if that makes sense. You know, and I think that makes a big difference for me. I like the extreme instrumentation, but without the... It's not edgy. That's not the issue with metal. I mean, sometimes, but I care less about that as I get older. My standards lower, I guess, or I'm less of a prick. Yeah, I have really rambled this video. I guess that's good for a racing game. What's the word I'm looking for metal? I don't know. Whatever. You get the point. There's my taste if you want to send me some good metal. But man, this soundtrack is so good. I'm going to check the video time, and if it's over 21 minutes, I'm LP Master 6, and I will see you next time for the final cup of Novice difficulty, which we will be doing right now.